All right, let's fire away so I can get to work.
2 days in, how has practice been so far this week?
Been good. They practiced good yesterday, and I thought a good practice today. Some highs and lows, and some ups and downs, but like I always say, it's like a broken record. If it's cool outside, we tend to practice better, and if it's hot outside, we tend to struggle. But it was cool today, and they had good spirits, and thought we had good prep.
Coach, obviously it's an 11 a.m. local kick. I'm curious what the game day schedule is going to look like. How do you get guys up and ready to play?
Exactly like we do everything. So it'll be 8 o'clock pregame meal Eastern time, 7 o'clock their time. Steak and eggs. Get ready to go play. I mean, we've done it before. We got to do it again, and we'll do some biorhythm prep the day before and try to get them up early, consecutive days, and get them used to it. And they're young, and they can handle it.
Yeah, Kirby, with Jaylen, I mean, confidence is something you've mentioned with him a lot. I mean, how have you seen him continue to grow his confidence, and how hard can that be for a corner in this league continue to develop that confidence?
Well, I think if you don't have confidence, you'll never be a corner in this league. Like, you better have some confidence, and whether you play well or not, you better have it, because they're going to keep coming at you. They're going to challenge you. There's great wideouts and throwers and catchers in this league are elite. So you're going to have some plays you don't win. You got to believe you're going to win them all. And I think he has a very quiet confidence about him. He's a very intelligent young man. He works really hard. He's in a tough competition too, because Julian Humphrey has played well and done a good job. I mean, every day out of practice, I thought Julian had a really good practice today. So we want to continue to get those guys better and let them compete.
Through 6 games, what have you thought of how your secondary has played and developed, and what areas do you want to see improvement going forward?
I'd like to gain some more depth. Skies better, tackle better, punch out more balls.
Coach, I'm asking about Robert Robinson real quick. It looked like he was out of his boot during the game. How's he progressing right now?
He is getting closer, dry land running, weight bearing running, but doubtful for this game. But he is closer. I mean, he's out there running around. He's not practicing with us.
Kirby, Mark Stoops was talking about NIL yesterday. I'm not sure if you heard about those comments. He said, I can promise you, Georgia, they bought some pretty good players. You're allowed to these days. We could use some help. Is that a fair assessment? What's your reaction to that?
No reaction. Just much to do about nothing, really. I mean, I think Mark's trying to garner interest in money from his fan base for his collective, and we're all trying to do the same in terms of trying to get money for our collective. Mark and I talked about NIL pregame, and we talk about it in our meetings. So I'm not biting on that.
You're slowly getting healthier. You're talking about Rod. Kendall came back at the running back position. How does this affect Dylan Bell, if any, or does he continue on that track of? He mentioned last week he loves the idea of being a dual role player.
Yeah, it's just a matter of where we are at back. We do have Kendall back, and he seems much more healthy, and Dejan back, but Dylan gives us a lot of versatility to do other things. He's gotten better in his protections, picking things up, IDing things, understanding jet protection, understanding slide protections. He's getting better at those things. So we want to continue to grow his arsenal of plays and continue to use him as a wideout. So that's probably not going to stop regardless of who's there.
Yeah, Coach, just to continue on areas of growth, where do you want to see Carson Beck continue to improve at the quarterback position, his play specific?
Mobility, getting in and out of the pocket, decisions when to tuck it down and run versus stand in and throw, and some design runs probably wouldn't hurt him around the red area and things that he can do. He's a good athlete, and the 1 or 2 plays a game that he puts us at risk, removing that is the most critical thing, decision making.
Kirby, let me try on disconcerting signals again. We talked to Steve
It's complicated.
Shaw Okay. I talked to Steve Schaller today. I did some research. LSU, Missouri, there were 3 of those, but they were all clapping. Alabama did it against you in the championship game. That was clapping. Your 2 have been not clapping. Do you think they got it right, or is it too open to interpretation?
No, they probably got it right, but there's been ones that we got right too, and you know, and they weren't called. So it's a matter of doing it the way you're supposed to do it, and that's what our kids are coached to do it the way you're supposed to do it. And sometimes the kids overdo it, and that draws a penalty. But I don't know. I saw some LSU Missouri plays that weren't clapping. So I don't know if that's exactly right in terms of clapping, but clapping is the most often way it happens. But they don't get that either, because Auburn clapped 5 or 6 times and they didn't get it. So it's one of the most hardest things to officiate in all of sports is that, and that's sometimes very subjective. So it's complicated.
Coach, what have you seen from Rara? He had a big game, big catch the other night, just on his development and his picking up from the offense.
He's gotten better every week. You know, he probably struggled a lot in the spring. He grew a lot during camp. He went through some hamstring issues. He learned how to work his way through our practices and how many reps and physical and the way we go about things. And he's learned how to play special teams. I mean, it's like all this world of stuff coming at him. And that's what he said he wanted when he came here. He wanted to learn to be a complete wideout and play special teams and learn in a pro-style system. So he's doing that step by step, and to the kid's credit, he's getting better every week.
Hey, Coach, you've mentioned many times the importance of establishing depth. I just wanted to know your evaluation of your team at this point in the season. Which position groups do you think need the most help in terms of establishing depth?
Are you talking about because of injury or just a healthy roster?
In general, just having guys ready to get game reps.
I'm really confused. I mean, we have more depth at some positions than others. We're thin at some positions. We're thin at some positions because of injuries, and we're thin at some positions because of not recruiting enough guys or enough guys that are playing winning football. So that varies for different reasons. You know, like so. I wish we had more depth at every position, but some are better than others.
Kirby, any rhyme or reason for the lack of forcing fumbles from the defense, or is it just kind of lucky?
I don't know. I don't know if we have less snaps. I would love for that to be my excuse, that we get off the field on 3rd down so we don't get as many opportunities, but we still have a lot of snaps that we get in that opportunity. We forced one, we didn't get it. You know, David Daniel punched it out and we didn't recover it, but we give rewards in points. Kids compete each week for points, and we give points for strip attempts. So since we've started going up on those point awards, they all compete to have the highest points. The strip attempts have gone up, but the fumbles haven't. So we continue to chop wood, and usually those things come in bunches, and if you keep doing it right, it's kind of like our offense, you know. You keep working, you keep improving, you keep doing it, and they come when you need them.
Coach, last week when we talked to you, you mentioned Andrew's interest in football. It doesn't have to necessarily be Andrew, but in general, if your child wants to maximize their potential in the football world, how do you go about approaching that as a parent?
Depends on the age. You know, if we're talking about a 6-year-old, I don't know that we're going to get there at that age. If we're talking about a 14-year-old, he better be well into it and like contact and like the toughness it requires to play the sport. So I think there's stages in development, and there's a lot of places in the state of Georgia that have unbelievable youth football programs, and that's usually a good sign for us because they develop talent, and kids choose to stay in football when they have good coaches. Kids choose to leave football when they have bad coaches. So I think the biggest thing is who are the coaches developing your child.
Yeah, Raylan Wilson picked up a half sack last week. When he has a chance, and not just him, but other young players have a chance to get those reps late in the game. How important is that for them, with them obviously also trying to contribute on special teams and do other things to maybe not move their way up the depth chart, but still grow their game?
Yeah, they get confidence. I think they get a reward for what they work on in practice. I think so many young players, in my experience of being the places I've been, especially at the higher end, there's a misconception that I'm going to walk in and take over the world because everybody's told me how good I am. And we've signed in Alabama and here and everywhere I've been, FSU, LSU, there's been unbelievable players we signed. And very few have instant success. So they have to go through that process of failure, and failure is good for these kids because it's going to be hard in life and it's going to be hard what they do. And I'm proud of a lot of the freshmen getting some opportunities in these games we've had leads in, but they got a long way to go to be ready to contribute like a starter. And it starts in the meeting room, not taking notes or taking notes, walk through. They don't walk through like the older guys. I showed 10 minutes of tape today that was, look at this guy walk through and look at this guy walk through. They're doing the exact same play. One's a senior and one's a freshman. Look at this guy's intentional way he walks through and he shows his eyes and he puts his hands on people. And then you got a guy that's a freshman that's just casual and just like it doesn't matter because he doesn't think he's going to play. Well, the difference in that is just stunning. So I think learning how to be a good player is part of the process.
It seemed like, correct me if I'm wrong, I know you will, it seemed like Marvin Jones Jr. played considerably fewer snaps this past week than he did the previous week at Auburn. Is that a fact, and if so, why, and how's his development coming out of there? Because obviously you have a lot of players to choose from at that position.
No, he's doing great. Marvin was dealing with an ankle injury. He sprained his ankle on Tuesday of, maybe it's Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday he sprained his ankle and stepped on him. Brock collided and stepped on it. He rolled his ankle, couldn't practice. Couldn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Felt like he could go Saturday. We took him out to warm-ups and he thought he could go, and he was able to go a little bit. He played some. He really pushed through the pain really well, but just wasn't. He didn't get a lot of reps in terms of it, and probably wasn't quite 100%, but played more in the previous games. But he's had a run of tough luck with 2 games almost missed with different things, and he's done a great job in practice, and he's got a really bright future. He's a very talented player. He's very smart. He's one of the guys that we can say he knows the defense inside and out and can go out there and execute at a high level.
Kirby Vanderbilt's undergoing some stadium upgrades. Your organization, have they checked on how that might affect your game day, what you do in terms of pregame, during the game, et cetera?
Yeah, we got some different things that they've handled with our ops people in terms of where we arrive, where we go, where we change, where we go to at halftime. All that stuff's changed. We went and site visited, saw it over the summer. Other teams have done it already. They've told us about it. I mean, we're well aware of it. We've made the players aware of it.
Yeah, at that edge position, obviously, Jaylen Walker plays that in a third down role. Given some of the depth issues that you guys have had there, is there any consideration maybe in a first or second down role, maybe giving him some more snaps there?
No, that's not his position. That's not quite how the game works. He's 235, 245 pounds. He could be an outside backer and play outside backer, but we're developing as an inside backer because we have other outside backers. And there's certain plays, and when the tackle's 6'6", 340 pounds, you don't ask a guy that's 240 pounds to play on that guy. If they're going to pass it every play, that'd be a great idea. But they don't do that in our league.
Time for 2 more. Anybody? All right, thank you.
That's good.
Thank y'all.